YouTube, it's me, finally, again, after months of no me. Let's see, it's almost March now, and I still haven't put together the video from Christmas and New Year's. I've been doing super, really. Look at what I have. Oh no, she dropped the passy. She dropped the passy. Oh yeah. If you don't get it, it's like diffusing a bomb. Oh honey. Yeah, baby girl here has, hold on 1 second, let her get calmed back down. She has acid reflux and colic, and I have to feed her 2 ounces of a bottle and then wait an hour and feed her the other 2 ounces. So this is the in-between hour, and she really wants her fucking bottle. So her dropping the passy and you getting it back in her mouth in time, like I said, it's like diffusing a bomb. You've got about 5 seconds or she's gonna explode. Plus her belly hurts, and I mean her belly hurts like most of the time. So when her belly hurts, when her belly hurts, I have to put my hand like this to keep the passy in, and so she can tear up my hand instead of scratching the hell out of her face. Before she had nails, she pinched the hell out of her face, and she pinched me. She's, for a little tiny baby, she's got a hell of a little grip. So I keep my hand like this so that she will attack my hand and not her face. The joys of motherhood. Yeah, this is River. This is the amphibian. Only now she is the amphibious monkey butt, because she really acts more like a monkey. She really, really does. And then I found out that this is the Chinese New Year of the monkey. But she was born 7 days before the New Year started. So, I don't, yes, that was a great big baby. I know, baby girl. So I don't know if that counts, if she's a monkey or if she's still a sheep. I'm not sure which she is in that case. So if any of y'all know anything about how the whole Chinese, thank you, Zeus, just knock the camera, whatever, do your thing. If any of y'all know how the whole Chinese New Year works on that account, please let me know. I'd love to know what she is, because either way, she's a monkey, I'm telling you. Yeah, this is her my belly hurts face. Zeus, stop pushing the fucking camera, dude. God. Yeah, so it's been a really long couple of months. For those of you not on my Facebook, I had a early labor scare. It wasn't really so much a scare because I was still term, so it wouldn't have been a big deal. But I was having real contractions. They just weren't, how was it? Her head dropped around, I don't know, I want to say 13th, 14th of January, and it dropped quite abruptly. Like, I went to the bathroom, and the bottom of my belly kind of hit the toilet by the time I got up. Like, her head went, and her head dropped lower than my cervix, and my cervix just would not fucking cooperate and drop at all. But the whole early labor thing, I was having real contractions, but my cervix wasn't low enough for me to actually be in labor. It was weird. You can't be milk drunk. That's what I call it. She'll sit there and she'll drink her milk, and she just gets this look on her face like a little alcoholic, you know? So I tell her she's milk drunk. Anyway, so there was that. My feet and legs got even bigger. They were huge, like to the point where my midwife wanted to induce me just on the chance that they might go down, which they did. They went back. Seriously, knock it the fuck off. they went back down to their normal level of swollen, I guess you could say. So that's really good because they're really kind of scary looking. Oh, by the way, Tony is asleep on the couch next to me, so if you hear snoring, it's all him. Oh yeah, and the whole birth itself, that was, nothing can be easy with me, so you have to know that there's going to be quite a little story here. Zeus, oh my god. I'm gonna kill him. Anyway, yeah, you good? So, my water dropped, or my water dropped. My water broke around 9:30 at night on Sunday, January 31st. And, it was one of those deals where I was having a lot of pain in my back, like really bad period cramp in your back kind of pain. And I was having contractions, but they weren't timeable, like they were coming sporadically. So I didn't bother even trying to time them or anything like that. I just figured, it's turning into something or it's another false alarm, whatever. I'll figure it out when I can actually time them. So I was getting ready to take a shower, and I had had no appetite whatsoever all day. Hadn't eaten anything because I just could not bring myself to do it. But I was going to take a shower and then I was going to eat. So I go upstairs, I go to pee, and as I'm peeing, right after I finish peeing, all of this, like, fluid just starts, it wasn't really a whole lot at once, but it was just coming out, and there was, like, what are you smiling about? There was nothing that I could do about it. So, I think I was kind of in shock a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just more pee. So I stood up, and it just kept coming, and coming, and coming, and coming, like I was at the hospital, and it was still coming and coming hours later. But, so I kind of stood there for a minute, and I did this thing while I was pregnant. Oh, she's about to, oh, no. Thought she was about to have a little belly fit there. I always did this thing while I was pregnant, where I would, like, mentally talk to her or whatever. I don't know, I know it sounds stupid, but whatever. As far as I'm concerned, we were telepathically linked by the umbilical cord. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, this is it. Yes, there is life after birth, and everything's going to be fine, and just don't panic. I know it's going to be scary for you too, but it'll be fine. And then I kind of yelled down for Tony, like, come here. Pretty much the same way I told him I was pregnant, standing in the bathroom, like, come here. And, yeah, he's him and my brother, because my brother's been staying with us for the past few weeks. And they were both kind of, like, freaking out, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna take a shower now, and, then I'll call the midwife and see what she says. Yeah, I was oddly calm during that whole thing. So I did take a shower, I put on makeup, I did. And, all the while, I had had our bags packed for weeks. And, so, everything was ready as far as that went. I got the car seat covered, the car seat was sitting by the bags, like, everything was ready. So him and my brother are, putting these things into my brother's truck, which, by the way, only has 2 seats. Yeah, so, Tony had to ride in the back of the truck that doesn't even have a tailgate all the way to Circleville, which is like 20 miles from here, I believe. Yeah. Luckily for him, it was a very unseasonably warm night, so he wore my trench coat and he was cool. No, don't fall asleep, because he's your smile. I love it. She giggles too, by the way, and I think she's gonna have my goofy ass laugh, this poor baby. But anyway, so, I called the midwife, no answer. Called the midwife again, no answer. Tony calls the hospital. They're like, we'll get a hold of the midwife and see what she wants you to do. So I couldn't get a hold of Barb, so we ended up just going down there. And we get down there and they, test my fluid that I had on the pad, because I had 2 or 3 pads on. It was still water just everywhere. And They're like, yeah, you know, your water broke. Like, yeah, no shit. Um, so they get me in a gown, they get me hooked up to the monitors, they start, you know, handing me papers to sign, all that shit. All the while, my brother is sitting there like, okay, you're in a gown, that's too close to naked for me, I'm gonna go somewhere, anywhere, away from here. And, Tony is, you know, chattering away because he's really nervous, and he starts kind of chattering when he's nervous. It's really cute. But, yeah, and I'm just kind of sitting here like, wow, this is really it. And for the first few hours, everything was pretty good. Like, I was able to write out the contractions. What are you doing, doll baby? And I had his old cell phone that I used for music, and I downloaded some music that I ended up not being able to find in the library, so I ended up on YouTube anyway. And I had on some Mumford & Sons, and, you know, I was putting my headphones in to write out the contractions, and all was well, and all that good shit. And that lasted until about 6 o'clock in the morning. Where are you going, honey? This kid, she moves so much. You don't have to suck your fingers. I got your passy. I do. Unless you try to... Oh, yeah. That's a belly pain. Oh, nope. You were just pissed and wanted your passy. Anyway. So, about 6 o'clock in the morning, look at all that white hair. Oh my god, I cannot wait until oh my god, I didn't even see all that. Sweet Jesus. Anyway, I'm waiting to dye my hair until I think the fumes won't kill her because she's on me all the time. But, my god, I think she may just have to hang out with her Aunt Dakota one day because, homie, don't play this shit. Anyway, so I was fine, and then she decided to turn on her side. And when she turned on her side, I went into the worst pain I have ever been in my life. It was no longer contractions with space to breathe in between. It was back to back to back, and it was horrible. I could not sit down, I could not lay down, I couldn't do anything but pace the floor. Oh, keep in mind, I had at this point not slept for about 28 hours because I really didn't sleep the night before that either. And I only slept like 3 hours, so I was fucking tired. And it was really bad, like to the point where I barely remember this entire time period. I wrote her, you know, how I write her letters. Well, I was writing one to her about when she was born, which took me 3 fucking weeks to write because, you know, that's how new motherhood has gone. But I had to ask Dakota and Tony and, you know, everybody that came in and out and all that about what I was doing and how that whole time was going, because to me it is an absolute fog. I barely remember it. When she turned on her side, they have this thing they call the peanut that is peanut shaped, and they wanted me to put it between my knees to try to turn her, and that's when it really just went apeshit, which I had forgotten all about that until Tony told me while I was writing the birth letter, but then it kind of jogged my memory, and that's when the pain really just went nuts. I do remember at one point just screaming like, I can't do this, which I never thought I'd be one of those women. I was one of those women. Like, I could not take it anymore, and that really surprised me. I did not expect to get to that point. I mean, I'm in pain every day, all day long. I did not expect to get to that point. And to be fair, honestly, I really don't think I would have got to that point if she wouldn't have turned sideways. And on top of that, I know this is gross, but I'm going to share it with you anyway because we're all tight like that. I also had to poo, and the combination of the two was just it just didn't work for me. So that great big epidural needle that I thought I would never be in enough pain that the fear of it would not be there, I was still afraid of it. I was literally sitting there getting the epidural, looking at the nurse going, I don't think I should do this. I don't know if I should do this. and she's going like, a little late now. Um, but yes, I got the epidural, and I had the nurse and the anesthesiologist both telling me, like, this, there's a sting at the beginning and then it doesn't hurt. Well, mine hurt. Mine hurt like a motherfucker. It felt like a million electrodes just going through my left leg, and my left leg, coincidentally enough, has been completely numb ever since then. But if he did hit a nerve, it was because of the fact that I was moving around because I couldn't sit, and I had to sit. It was really bad. So the way I see it, if he hit a nerve, one, there's really nothing that can be done about it now, and two, it wasn't his fault. He was a very nice guy, and he did very well. It was just, I couldn't sit still. After that, as soon as it hit, I went to sleep, and I remember at one point waking up and me and Tony talking about some heavy shit because I think he thought I was dying. And then I remember waking up at that point, I remember something about the nurse saying Pitocin. And I have no memory whatsoever of this, but apparently my midwife had come in because my labor completely stalled. And she told me, like, you're not dilating anymore. By the way, I was 5.5 centimeters dilated when I got the epidural. Damn it, this fucking, oh, the color keeps changing. Anyway, you okay? Yeah. I was about 5.5 centimeters dilated when I got the epidural. Well, I guess my labor completely stalled and I wasn't dilating any further. And, I guess the midwife came in and told me that, and she was like, we're going to have to give you Pitocin, which I was trying very, very hard to avoid. But not only because, I wasn't planning to have the epidural, and I know that shit makes your contractions really bad and all that, but also because of the fact that when it makes your contractions really bad, it's kind of really hard on the baby. So, and it increases your risk of having to have a C-section. But I guess in my epidural half unconscious state, I was like, oh, okay, do whatever you gotta do. Which, I trust Barb, so, I know she wouldn't have told me that I needed the Pitocin unless I absolutely did need it. So that's fine. But I woke up and the nurse was saying something about Pitocin, and I was like, what the fuck, I'm on Pitocin? And he explained the whole thing to me, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I went back to sleep. And the next time I woke up, hours had passed, and I was like 8 centimeters dilated, and the nurse called my midwife because she had left to go back to the clinic and she was coming back and all that. And Tony got a hold of Dakota, and it's like this is gonna happen soon. And I remember me and Tony like kind of chit-chatting and all that. And then the next time the nurse came in, or no, the nurse didn't come in. No, the next person that came in was Barb after she got there. And I was 10 centimeters, and she said that it was time to push. But Dakota hadn't got there yet. And she said she was on her way and all that shit. And Barb was like, well, we can give her like 5 minutes, and then we have to start pushing. So all of these nurses came in. It seemed like there was fucking 10 of them. And, they're getting the little tray ready with everything they could possibly need and all that shit. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, this is really happening. And then I realized I'm having contractions and feeling everything on my right side and nothing at all on my left. Well, apparently after I had had the epidural during one of the points that I was awake, they had done the peanut thing again to get her to turn right, and it worked, which is good. But all of the medicine for the epidural was going to my left side that whole time, and it had started to wear off, and I could still feel everything on the right, so I just kept hitting the button. So my left side got a lot of epidural, and I could still feel everything on the right. And it was funny because like my left leg, or my right leg, I was able to lift up and all that, and my left leg, 2 people had to lift it up because it was completely like dead weight and I couldn't feel it and all that good shit. But I hate how your legs act like that. It looks so uncomfortable. Anyway, so Dakota still hadn't got there, and I didn't want to start without her, but Barb was like, yeah, we're gonna have to. And, wait, you want your passy? Wait. You still got a little bit before it's bottle time, but you can have your passy back. Yeah. But anyway, so I started pushing, and I was really, really frustrated right off the bat because I could not breathe. I had a sinus infection and bronchitis when I went into labor, and they wanted me to hold it for 10 seconds. Well, the furthest I got was 5. I could not do it, and that was really irritating. And Dakota came in while I was pushing, and I started throwing up, and it was, it was like I pushed and pushed and pushed, and absolutely nothing was happening. And I thought it was because I couldn't hold the push long enough or whatever. And I remember at one point Dakota saying something about, oh my god, there's so much blood. And I'm sitting there like, she probably, she's never seen birth before, she doesn't realize how bloody this shit can be. So I kind of brushed it off as nothing. Kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. And again, this whole time I'm thinking it's my fault that I'm not pushing well enough or whatever. Come to find out, little miss over here, her head was stuck on my pelvic bone, and Barb had to work really, really hard to get it unstuck. And I mean, like, me pushing for 2 hours and her doing whatever it was she was down there doing, because I was not fixing to look. I didn't need to see that shit. There was a mirror right across from me, but I didn't need to see that shit. So, her head was stuck on my pelvic bone, and Barb worked and got it unstuck finally. And after her head got unstuck, it was like nothing at all before I was able to push her out. And Tony had put on a Macklemore playlist because he could see that I was like done with the whole fucking situation. And the first song on it was Downtown. If y'all have never heard that song, go listen to it, because you can't be mad or sad or pissed or anything. You can't be anything but just pep the fuck up when you hear that song. Like, the midwife was shaking her booty and whole 9 yards. I was good to go once I heard that. And then the song Same Love came on. And I remember sitting there and closing my eyes, and I'm thinking to myself, like, listen, this is it. I'm pushing you out. So prepare yourself. We're doing this. We can't push anymore. So we're going to do this, and just be ready. And I did. I did push her out. I heard they said something about we can serve forehead, and I'm like, that's it? Seriously? Not realizing that that was the bulk of the problem. And that, what? And these crazy little eyes she's giving me. Oh wait, now you're not going to do it? Say hi, YouTube people. I don't know what you're looking at, and I probably don't want to know. Well, no. Why do you always try to put your... Because you don't like light. Just get your head back. You look so uncomfortable. Anyway, so I pushed and she was out and all that goodness, and that's my bra because she loves tearing my shirt down. And she came out and they laid her on me because they do skin to skin or whatever. And they laid her on me, and I could tell that she was breathing. Like, I could see that she was breathing, but she wouldn't cry. So they took her and they were working on her, trying to get, because she had swallowed her poo on the way out, they were trying to get that up out of her throat and all that. And Barb was like, give me a little push, because usually afterbirth only takes like a little push. Mine was stuck. She had to literally rip it out of my body. And I'm talking arm deep up in the womb, ripping it out. That was not fun. That was literally worse than every other part except for the crazy contractions that made me scream for an epidural. Like, I felt, like I said, I could feel everything on the right side, including her sewing me up, but after her ripping out the afterbirth, the stitches were nothing. And the contractions that I was having while I was pushing her out were nothing compared to the contractions I had at 5.5 centimeters when I was screaming for an epidural. It was crazy shit. But anyway, yeah, the whole ripping out the afterbirth thing, that was fucking awful. But she didn't want me to have to go for a DNC right after having the baby, which is cool. I'm glad she did that. She's looking. She don't know what she's looking at, but she's looking at. Yeah. So they ended up getting her all cleaned up and all good to go, and laid her back on my chest, and I shit you not, I actually have witnesses for this because there were people in the room. She lifted her little head up and looked right at me, and then proceeded to start sucking all over my chest looking for a booby, which did her no good because I didn't produce any breast milk. So she's still angry about that. She still tries it at least twice a day, every day, and she's tried it on her dad. Like, she just wants a nipple. Hi, Co. What are you looking for? Oh, yeah. But yeah, so, we were like that for about an hour, and nobody else could hold her for that hour, which is a really good policy, and if all hospitals don't do it, I think they should, because it's awesome. But there were people everywhere coming and going, and again, that's like a whole time period I really don't remember much of. There were people there that it took me days to even remember them being there, and some of them I didn't even remember them being there. I had to be told they were there, and it's just all really, really fuzzy. I do remember when everybody left feeling like really, really bummed for a minute. By a minute I mean like 3 hours. I was just really bummed and all that good shit. But I got over it. These dogs, I swear. But yeah. So that was the story of her being born. I know I kept it as quick as I could because I know she's going to be wanting that bottom here soon. And yeah, it took me 3 weeks to write that down on paper. 3 fucking weeks. The last 3 weeks have kind of been really, really rocky. Like I said, she has colic and acid reflux, and it was really, really bad. We've since changed bottles, got her gas drops. I have to call, I tried gripe water, didn't work. I have to call Monday to her pediatrician so that she can get acid reflux medicine because the gripe water didn't work. And, but just changing her bottle and getting her on formula, which now we have to change, wish me luck with that. But, getting her on formula that was for sensitive, you know, gentle, all that good stuff, helped a lot, but, she still has problems. And, it's not all day screaming anymore, which is good. She goes through little periods where she's farting and all that, and her belly hurts and she'll scream, or just make noises or whatever. She goes through as much to let off a fart sometimes as they do to take atomic shits. It's terrible. But, she's still doing much better now. Oh yeah, and she does still have periods where she poops a lot or throws up a lot. But like I said, it's not all day, every day. So she's doing much, much better already. And I ended up with mastitis in both boobies, and it was disgusting. There was a hole in this one, and this one was oozing green, and it was disgusting. But that's finally clearing up, which is good, because it was like the 3rd most painful thing I've ever been through. It sucked. It sucked really fucking hard. And funny story, when she was doing the whole, you know, trying to find a nipple thing on my chest, that was when it first started hurting over here, and the infection first started coming to a head. So I must have been hiding it in there for some time, because, yeah. And it just got worse and worse, and then finally I talked to my midwife, got antibiotics, and then it was all bad. But, yeah, we're getting better, huh? I swore I would not be one of those people with an infant who tried to make a schedule in the foreseeable future, because I know that when you have infants, schedules they don't fucking work. But it's been driving me crazy because I can't get into any kind of routine yet with her or me or the house or anything. As you can tell, I look like hell. I've managed to get the shower every day, but putting on makeup I basically only do for doctor's appointments right now. She loves laying her head back like that, and I hate it because I think it looks uncomfortable. And apparently it's part of the acid reflux. They like putting their head way back and all crooked and painful looking. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully soon we can have a routine, and hopefully then I can like make videos on a regular schedule again, or as regular as I ever did it. And I'm getting the bug to start writing again, which is good because the last like month, sorry, I'm on the edge of the couch and it hurts my butt. The last month that I was pregnant, I had zero desire to write whatsoever, which has never happened to me. Even when I have writer's block or I don't write, I still want to write, but there was no desire there at all. But I'm getting it. I'm getting it hardcore. So hopefully I'll be going back to that soon. I got one of those carrier wrap things to put her in because when her belly acts up, she does not want me to put her down at all. And, you know, it makes cleaning the house a little difficult. So I got one of the carrier wrap things from the Walmart website, and they didn't say anything about sizes at all on the description, or didn't ask me to select a size. They come in sizes. They sent me large. I can't use it. Tony could use it if he wanted to. We'll see if he does. But I got another one that was actually the sling kind I wanted in the first place. And it'll only take like 3 weeks to get here, and then I can get a routine going with the house cleaning. Yeah, I only put her down when she's sleeping, and sometimes not even then. So I need something like that. And I really, really can't wait till it gets here, because it'll make my life so much easier. Yeah, I'm going to try to start making videos as regular as possible, as soon as possible. She will probably have many cameos in them, fair warning. And I am going to do the whole Wiccan challenge thing, where you have a different topic every week. Once I can start making videos on a regular basis again, I am probably going to try to do 2 a week until I'm caught up, and I am going to start from week 1. If that's just like whatever to you, then fine. But it does seem like a lot of fun, and I envy all you guys that have been doing it this whole time while I've been in my proverbial mother cave, preparing the cave for the offspring, and now just sitting in the cave with the offspring. Yeah. I wanted you all to see her, and I'm going to piss her off and wake her up because she has to eat the last of her bottle anyway. Looky at the camera. No, you don't want to do that. Okay, she don't want to do that. But yeah, she's a trip. And now that she's starting to have mostly good days, she is whoa. Oh my god, she throws her head around like no newborn I've ever seen in my fucking life, and it will scare the hell out of you. Because, you know, I wasn't prepared for that shit the first day she was born. Newborns generally kind of tend to lay fairly still. Not her. Then again, I knew that was going to happen. The ultrasounds do not lie. I knew that she was going to be a crazy mover. And she is. Say hi, my YouTube people. Oh, you guys say hi to your YouTube aunties especially. Say hi, my YouTube aunties. Say, I wore my outfit that you guys brought me, and I looked really cute in it, but then I got so big so quickly that I'm almost all outgrown it. Yeah. I know, right? Mooch Passy. See, all this for a fart. I shit you not. A fart. She's not pooping. It's all for a fart. Red face no. Okay. But yeah, so we wanted to come and say hi, and we miss you guys. Especially you, Cheryl, you, Abigail. I miss you guys like crazy. I love you guys, and for those of you who are even watching this, who've even cared enough to pay attention to whether or not I'm still making videos, I am still making videos. I'm just not doing a very good job of I am eventually going to put the Christmas video together, and if you don't want to watch it, I completely understand since it's, you know, almost marginal. Oh, I forgot to tell you. She was born on in bulk. Oh yes, she was. So that was one ritual I didn't do. I didn't even know what fucking phase of the moon we were in until yesterday. It's like, it's been that bad. But, I plan on getting back on track with the new moon, and I'm going to start trying to work on a ritual for her, like to kind of just, I don't know, awakening, I believe that's what they're called. It's not like a christening. I'm not dedicating her to any religion, just asking the gods to watch over her until she grows up and decides what gods she wants for her very own, I guess. But there are, you know, many, many versions that are already out there that are already pre-made and all that, but I definitely want to write my own kind of thing. I have put off putting her umbilical cord in the baby book because I'm not sure if I want to put it in there or if I want to incorporate it somehow into the ritual. So I'll end up telling y'all what I do with that when I do something with that. But yeah, not much has actually been going on here these past 3 weeks, except the baby's been all, you know, growing and fussy and then just growing. And I've been a wreck, and I look like a wreck, and I apologize for that. Next time, I'll try to at least put makeup on. Speaking of the moon, I totally see her out there, shining right through that window. But yeah, it's been crazy, but yeah, nothing really happens every day at the same time. It's weird. I'm sure those of you who have kids get it. It's like everything happens in a day and nothing at all at the same time. But yeah, so I miss you guys. I love you guys. We have a baby. And I will make another video again as soon as I can. I hope you all have had a beautiful couple of months. I hope you all have been remembering to smile.